My name is...
Hello, everybody!
Hi.
Guess who's up here today?
Darnell
Broadnax! You got it. Darnell Broadnax. First of all, I want to start off with a little story. Have any of you guys ever gone through an SAP Veterans training class?
Yes.
You have, right? During that time, have you ever had to study long hours all into the night and even on the weekends?
Yes.
I'm sure most of you have probably thought about lying in the green grass, walking all the way over here, taking a breath, and thinking about the big blue sky.
Yeah.
I agree. I have also. Now, what I'm going to do today is go over some of the things, one of the things that I myself used to kind of take away from the stressors of those long hours of studying, hard, into the night, pulling a little bit of hair that I got already out. See, I've already started pulling it out.
Damn.
All right. That could be my mass or less mass, depending on how you want to look at it. So what I'm going to do today, that's who? Darnell Broadnax. His name's not the 28. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk to you about the stress reliever that I use to go off into a whole nother world, to explore a domain not explored by many. Isn't that right, Tina?
Yes.
Final Fantasy 14.
All right.
No, I said Final Fantasy 14!
Yeah!
Right, that's what I'm talking. Pump me up. Pump me up. Final Fantasy 14, familiarizing you with Final Fantasy 14, and also showing you how it can be a stress reliever after going through the rigors of SAP training. Now, I'm going to show you something that's totally awesome sauce to me.
Awesome sauce.
And that is the Black Mage.
Yay!
No, I said the Black Mage.
Yeah.
Too late, too late. Moments passed. And this would be my purpose. My agenda, of course, is going to be the classes within Final Fantasy 14 and also ways I use it to relieve my stress. Now that I've told you a little bit about my agenda, my purpose, let's roll into some of the races and classes that are involved in Final Fantasy 14. Just like I said. The races, of course. You have the Elzen, which is an elf. He's got these tall, pointy ears, things like that. The Here is a human-like species.
What kind of ears was that?
If I understand your question right, you want to know what the ears are like? Can I ask you a question first?
Sure.
Good.
Next we have the Kyoto and the Lelafell. And I'll show you pictures of these as we go along. So you have the Rojan, and then we're going to go into the classes. The classes are the best aspect of the game. Because in Final Fantasy 14, as opposed to Final Fantasy 11, this analogy comparing the two would be that in Final Fantasy 11, you could not change classes unless you went through a whole different scenario. Final Fantasy 14, you can change classes just by pressing a button. So what that means is, I can start off as the Black Mage, grabbing my wand and shooting my fire in killing my enemies like that. Pushing a button, I can change it to the white mage. Or if I'm done with that one, I can change it to the paladin, the archer, the warrior, or a summoner, or even a lancer. David.
Sir, just like those who surf, I feel like people who play this game probably have a low IQ and are losers.
So what you're saying is that people that play Final Fantasy 14 are losers?
That's correct.
Can you maybe understand us a little bit more and how you feel, why you feel that way?
Well,
You better take that as.
you got the point.
And then the Lancer, of course. A Lancer is a guy who takes this long stick, it's got a pointy thing at the end of it, and what he can do is, while he's frolicking through the woods, he sees an enemy, he can stab them with his lance, kill them, which is pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. And I do say so myself. All right, as we talked about earlier, here are the different races. You have the Elvins. I got a pointer, don't I? You got the Elvins, or Elzen, with the pointy ears. All right. Let me take a breath. Take some water while I go over this. While you study the races of Final Fantasy 14. Then these little guys right here, they are the Lalafels. Little race right here. Then you have they're the Hyars, but you can see they're humanoid-based creatures. These Rogans are these big dudes. They're only males, so I don't know how they reproduce.
Not like deer.
It's like white-tailed deer.
You got what you got to do.
Right on time.
Or maybe if this guy, because these are this M word, they don't have any males. So maybe if you make this one with that one, maybe every now and again you get a different one. David.
The small ones seem to be very similar to Oompa Loompas. Are they related in any way?
Ah, that's a great question. They
Is it-
are actually third cousins of the Oompa Loompas.
I knew it.
They were transplanted into Final Fantasy 14 at its inception. So those right here are the races in regards to Final Fantasy 14. Next we have my favorite bit, the classes. As you can see at the top is what?
The white
Blackheads.
Now, okay, yeah.
Strange.
That is the black mage, the super cool one in the middle. You see the white mage. This chick over here, she's a summoner. See the lance as he's frolicking. Looks like a frolicking kind of getup he's got on.
Can you demonstrate that, sir?
I can. Let me get my lance right quick. And as you frolic through the woods.
Excellent use of that.
Darnell Broadnax.
Stab. All right. Then you got the archer. This guy right here is a paladin. He's kind of cool too. He can protect everybody. That big shield he's got. And then the warrior. If you're one of those guys that really want to relieve stress, you just want to pound on things other than things that are attached to you, you become a warrior. So now that you've seen some of the classes, some of the races that are involved in Final Fantasy 14, what I want to do now is I want to go over some of the things or some of the ways that Final Fantasy 14 can actually help you relieve stress. Alright? I use Final Fantasy 14 as a way to decompress, to breathe. Everyone breathe with me. One more time? One more time. Excellent. And why I know breathing is very important, very vital to life, something we do every day, probably something we don't concentrate on doing. To make sure we pause. Take a breath. All right, thanks to Claire, I was able to adjust my slide. You have stressors, then you have things that I know I use to relieve those stressors. This looks like some of us in the last 2 weeks, worried about whether we were going to succeed and be successful in this course. Some of us are still working at it. But I know with the tools such as Final Fantasy XIV, you can become a success as well. This was just us. This was just us just 2 weeks ago. Kind of looks like
Some of us right now.
yeah, it kind of looks like a partner a little bit. Oh, yeah. All right. So, what you can do now is you can play a little Final Fantasy XIV. You can get into Zen mode, become that black mage, engulf yourself in all the glory that is Final Fantasy XIV. And the major tool, the major input that allows me to traverse the world of Final Fantasy XIV, my super duper coagulator, what's that thing called, Dave? The flux capacitor that I use to navigate the world of Final Fantasy XIV, my PlayStation 3 controller.
That's wireless?
That one is wireless.
That is awesome.
All PlayStation 4 joysticks are wireless, and majority of PlayStation 3 controllers are wireless. So I can have my 80-inch TV way over there as I sit in my pajamas, relaxing. My controller, make sure you get this, my controller playing away in Final Fantasy XIV. Some of the ways to relieve stress is that, like I said, you can engulf yourself into somebody else's problems, the problems of the black mage, things that he has to do to traverse the world so that he doesn't get overtaken by enemies and things like that. The coolest thing about it is you're interacting with other individuals worldwide, globally. This is a global playing system. So Japan, Europe, Australia, North America, South America, all of these countries have vested players in Final Fantasy XIV. And they're all using this as a tool to relieve stress, take out those aggressions, the creatures and mobs, as we call them in Final Fantasy XIV, and destroying them. Now that we talked a little bit about the tools to relieve stress, what stressors are, what things we can do to relieve stress, these right here are pictures of the black mage. I want to just go into a little bit more detail about the black mage, but you have an understanding. That's you in full garb. And what you can do is your elemental magic. So you cast lightning, my favorite.
In
Fire.
conclusion,
Way too much information. Questions, anyone? Aparna.
What is this game rated as?
Oh, this game is rated for teenagers. So usually teenagers 14 and above. No more questions? All right. There we go. Go through that. The black mage again. Getting it in. In conclusion, Final Fantasy XIV is probably, to me, one of the best role-playing games ever created. And if you ever had the chance, or even if you would like to see me in action on Final Fantasy XIV from 123, Building B, come down, knock on my door, I can give you a full tour of the guide. What I did today is I showed you a way to relieve stress through familiarizing you with Final Fantasy XIV. Thank you very much.
Miles.